Have you ever wanted something so badly, but maybe, just maybe, you didn't really understand what you were asking for? Today, we're diving into a powerful story that turns on a single, startling statement: you do not know what you are asking. It's a line that really gets you thinking about our own ambitions and whether we truly get what we're chasing after. Okay, so let's start with a really wild piece of history. For centuries, ancient Chinese physicians were absolutely convinced that the human heart was on the right side of the body. It was just a fact to them. So when they were finally shown clear anatomical proof that it's on the left, you'd think they'd change their minds, right? Nope. They just decided that Westerners must be built differently. What's so amazing about this is what it tells us about our own minds, how incredibly hard it is to change a belief we hold deeply, even when the facts are staring us in the face. This idea of a fixed mindset is the perfect way to get into the story we're about to unpack. So, our story kicks off with a pretty gutsy move. Two of Jesus' closest friends, the brothers James and John, they pull him aside for a private chat. And what they ask for is, well, it's so bold, it's almost unbelievable. They literally ask for the two most powerful seats in the house, the right and left-hand seats of honor right next to the king. In their world, this is the ultimate power play. They're not just asking for a favor, they're trying to lock down the top spots in the new kingdom they're sure is coming any day now. So you gotta ask, when they say, "in your glory," what exactly are they picturing? Well, it's pretty clear their idea of glory was all about worldly things: real power, real authority, a high-status position. You can almost picture them as politicians trying to secure the best cabinet positions in a brand new administration. And boom, this one sentence changes everything. Jesus doesn't just say no, he tells them they've got it all wrong. They don't even get the first thing about their own request. Their entire understanding of what glory even means is about to get completely turned on its head. And this is where Jesus starts to completely dismantle and redefine what they think they want. He's about to take their whole concept of glory and power and flip it upside down. He hits them back with this question that honestly sounds a little strange. I mean, to them, a cup probably sounds like a good thing, a celebration, right? And baptism is just a religious ritual. But Jesus is using these words in a way they could never have expected. Yeah, see, the cup he's talking about, it's not a party cup. It's a cup filled to the brim with suffering. And the baptism isn't about being cleansed with water. It's about being plunged into death itself. He's really asking them, are you ready to pay the real price for this glory you want? Are you willing to suffer and die like I'm going to? That's the true cost. And you won't believe their answer. Without even blinking, they're like, yep, we can. Their confidence is just pure ignorance. They're so blinded by their ambition for status and power that they have absolutely no clue they just signed up for a path of incredible sacrifice. Now, you might think the other 10 disciples would be appalled by this, right? By this selfish power grab. But their reaction tells a totally different story. It shows that this flawed way of thinking wasn't just a James and John problem. They get indignant, which is just a fancy word for being seriously ticked off. But the real question is, why? Why are they so angry? The reason is the key to understanding the whole group's mindset. See, their anger had nothing to do with principle. They weren't upset that their buddies were being power-hungry. No, they were furious because James and John tried to cut in line. It was just raw, competitive jealousy. And that tells you everything. All 12 of them were still playing the same old game, the world's game of who's on top. So Jesus sees all this squabbling, this rivalry, and he gathers them all together. And what he says next is one of the most radical, upside-down teachings on leadership you will ever hear. It's a total paradox. Let's just look at these two models side by side. The world's model, the one the disciples were stuck in, is all about climbing the ladder, gaining authority, and having people serve you. Power comes from the top down. But Jesus just flips that script completely. In his kingdom, greatness isn't about ruling, it's about serving. The top spot isn't being the master, it's being the servant. So, this is the new playbook. This is the new path to greatness. You want to be great, you have to become a servant. You want to be number one, you have to become a slave of all. Just think about that for a second. It goes against every instinct we have about power and getting ahead. And here's the kicker. Jesus isn't just throwing out some nice-sounding theory. He points to his own life and basically says, "Don't believe me? Just watch me. I am the living proof of this." He's about to wrap up his entire life's mission in one single, unforgettable sentence that brings this whole lesson home. There it is. That's the mic drop. He says his whole purpose, his reason for being here, wasn't to get service, but to give it. To give it so completely that he would give his own life for others. He is the servant leader he just told them about. And this isn't some one-off idea. It's so central that you see it pop up in other places, like this passage from Philippians. It talks about this exact same mindset, one of self-emptying, of choosing to be a servant, of choosing humility, even when you have every right to power. So all of this leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? The disciples were working from a model of power that we see everywhere today, in our jobs, in politics, everywhere. But if this paradox is actually true, if real greatness is measured not by how many people serve you, but by how many people you serve, what does that do to our ideas about success? How does that change who we look up to as a true leader? It's a challenging thought, and definitely one worth sitting with. Thanks for joining me on this one.